Okay, today I'm going to be reviewing my 17 HMR. This is a Savage model 93R17. This has the black synthetic stock, pretty much your standard 17 with the heavy barrel. I'm going to move up here a little bit on this. Okay, so what we have here, basically as you can see, I've got a scope, got some rings on that, and the bipod. So what you're looking at here more or less is like your standard Savage, as I said, but what a shooter this thing is, and I think the scope makes a world of difference. One thing I guess I can say about this gun is that it's just a shooter. I mean, you take it to the range, you should be holding a great group. More or less, I can pepper a 1-inch diameter ring. I can hold about a half-inch group, I guess, at 100 yards pretty easily. As you can see here, got the bolt, goes up, comes down real easily. Has the AccuTrigger. I guess we're on safe, no wonder we can't fire it. That's right, we didn't check to see if there was anything in the chamber. I had to shot that couch all to hell. Anyway, what I have to say about this gun is AccuTrigger makes a Savage a great gun. I don't think for the money I paid, I guess about $230 for the gun. I got it on sale, so I actually paid $205. I work at Dunham Sports, and I got a great deal on it there. I don't really get a discount even for working there on firearms, but I did get to take advantage of a sale price. So you have the BSA Sweet 17 scope, 6 to 18 power, 40 millimeter with the adjustable objective. Got your parallax focus up there. Back here you got your 6 to 18 power top turret for elevation and your windage. The top turret for elevation has markings on it from 1 to 300. If you can see those little tick marks right there. Basically you can see that thing's set in at 100 yards, and that's where I've sighted in at. And what I do then is if I see a woodchuck at, say, 225 yards, I turn that turret up to 225 from 100, guns right on, given that there's not a lot of wind, and pull the trigger, dead woodchuck. You can see I've added a sunshade on this. The scope is about 22 inches overall from back to front with the sunshade. It's a 3-inch. It's not built for the Sweet 17. It's a Mueller APV 40 millimeter. It will fit on this particular model of scope. Works great, does what it should. I have the Weaver Tactical 6-hole rings on there, as you can see. And I have a Champion bipod. It's a Harris style. It's not the lightest bipod, but I'll tell you what, it's the most durable and it works the best. I've played around with some Shooter's Ridges and some other stuff we sell at work, and I just don't prefer them. Now, the heavy barrel seems to dissipate heat pretty well, just like it should. Of course, giving you a great shooting gun. The clip's a 5-round clip. One thing I would like to do eventually is replace the stock with either a Boyd Evo SS or a Tactical from Boyd's. The Tactical runs 92 and the Evo runs 99, and then you got to buy the trigger guard because this trigger guard here is plastic and attached to the stock. For what I want to do, a lot of woodchuck hunting, the stock's great, but it just doesn't give you a good rest on your cheek there on the comb. There's just not the best rest for your cheek. I'll tell you one other thing that I would recommend if you're getting a Savage 93R17 is a bore snake. Rather than use one of those rods and stuff, they're old school. And you know, you run a risk if it's a steel rod, which most aren't these days, but you run a risk of scratching the inside of your barrel. And if you scratch the barrel, you know, you're ruining the rifling, and you don't want to do that. So a bore snake, a Hops bore snake, or Hoppies, I don't know how the hell to say it, and some number 9 solvent and oil. I get this gun cleaned right up after shooting it. I pretty much clean it up, and does the job. Other than that, what else do I have to say? I mean, there's a lot of 17s out there that are shooters. I mean, the nice thing about Savages is, to my understanding, This barrel that's on this particular gun right here in front of you is the same barrel that they put on their high-end 17. All they do is change. All you pay for is the bolt, the stock, things like that. The AccuTrigger is what makes the Savage just above and beyond the rest. You could buy a Marlin. I don't know, Remington I'm sure makes one. You could buy whatever else. But for the price, you can't beat it, man. You can't beat the shooting that this gun's going to do. I got a buddy that's got a 17. He's got the TR version. It's been crowned. It's got a 7-ounce trigger pull. It's got a millet scope on it. It's a nice millet, 56 millimeter, huge scope. I mean, huge. It's a shooter. I mean, he's shooting woodchucks at 100 yards and 200 yards. His longest is 312, but he's shooting them. He's hitting them in the eye, or he's hitting them in the nose or in the ear. I shot the gun at 100 yards. I had no problem hitting a woodchuck in the ear. This one here, I can do the same thing with. His trigger pull makes it a lot easier to do, though. And his has been accurized, so it really makes a big difference. I'm not going to be able to do it as consistently as he is. I'll be able to do it, but just not that consistent. This gun is a tack driver. I have nothing bad to say about it. You could find a lot of other 17s out there, but I think Savage is paving the way for guns these days. As I said, I work at Dunham's and sell guns, and the Remingtons I see out there today just aren't up to par. There's the 770, which is absolute junk. The bolts are junk. They're just pieces of shit. The 780L is okay. It's not near as bad, but I'd still rather have a Savage 111 or Model 116. There's the Remington 7600 is not bad, but you're paying $550 and $600 for a new gun, at least at Dunham's. But for a small caliber rifle, anyway, this 17 Savage Model 93R 17 does the trick. It's absolutely probably the most accurate gun I own. I have some other Savages. I have an old Model 99. It's beautiful. Lever action, calibered in 253,000. I have a Savage Model 116 and 270 stainless. I have a Savage Mark II 22, and now I've added this to my collection of Savages. And you just can't beat them. And I'm telling you right now, if you get a 17, get the Savage, hook it up with a BSA Sweet 17 scope. There's a lot of reviews out there. Guys say, oh, the optics are bad. Man, I'm telling you right now, the optics in this are as clear as they are. I mean, this is a $150, $160 scope off the shelf. I mean, it's as clear as any other $115, Of course, it's not a high-end Leupold, but hell, if you want to put one of those on your gun, go ahead. More power to you. I just love the turret adjustments on this scope. You can't get that in a Leupold, at least not for what I wanted to pay. So, needless to say, this has been my review of the Savage 17 HMR. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I can let you know. One thing I could tell you is that you can drive tacks with it. Anybody can do it. It's just if you're willing and to take the time to sight your gun in and shoot it. So, all right. That's all. Have a good day.